Stop. Before you click buy on that shiny new induction stove sitting in your shopping cart, I need you to listen very carefully. There is a massive power gap in the market right now. Most people walk into a store, look at the price tag, look at the glossy glass top, and think, a stove is a stove, right? Wrong. In fact, choosing the wrong induction stove isn't just a waste of money. It is the difference between a crispy, perfect dosa and a soggy, undercooked mess. It's the difference between a machine that lasts 10 years and one that fries its motherboard during the first monsoon power surge. I'm Sal, and today we are going to peel back the glass. We're going inside the copper coils, analyzing the silicon of the transistors, and debunking the marketing myths. By the end of this video, you won't just know which brand to buy. You will understand the physics of the perfect kitchen. Let's explain. Let's start with the most misunderstood number on the box, wattage. You'll see models ranging from 1200 watts to 2200 watts. Most people think higher wattage just means it cooks faster. While that is true, the real secret is something called thermal recovery. Imagine you are frying a batch of vadas. The moment you drop that cold batter into the hot oil, the temperature of the oil plummets. In a gas stove, the flame has to work hard to bring that heat back. In an induction stove, a 1200 watt unit will struggle to recover that lost heat. The result? Your vadas soak up more oil, becoming heavy and greasy. For a busy Indian family kitchen, 2000 watts is your baseline. In 2026, the gold standard is 2000 watts. This extra headroom allows the stove to react instantly to temperature drops. It keeps your oil at a steady sizzle and your water at a rolling boil. If you see a stove for a steal price and it's only under 1600 watts, leave it on the shelf. Your cooking deserves more power. Now, let's talk about the surface you interact with every single day, the glass. This was your biggest request. You'll see brands shouting about full glass, crystal glass, or the elusive A-grade glass. What does that actually mean? First, let's clear up a myth. This isn't the same glass as your window or your phone. It is a glass ceramic composite. It's a material that combines the transparency of glass with the thermal resistance of ceramic. In the premium market, names like Shot Saran or Eurocara are the kings. These surfaces can withstand heat up to 700 degrees Celsius without expanding or contracting. They can handle a thermal shock, which is what happens when you accidentally spill ice-cold water on a piping hot stove. Cheap glass will shatter instantly under that stress. So, what is A-grade glass? In the context of 2026 Indian models, A-grade or full crystal glass usually refers to a single, seamless sheet that covers the entire top of the stove, from edge to edge. B-grade or lower models often have a plastic or metal border around the glass. This is a massive red flag. Why? Because grease, food particles, and spilled milk get trapped in that tiny gap between the glass and the border. Over time, that acidic grime eats away at the internal seals and reaches the electronics. A-grade full glass is non-porous and incredibly hard, usually a 7 on the Mohs scale. That means it is harder than a steel knife. You want a surface that allows you to slide a heavy cast iron skillet across it without leaving a single scratch. If the marketing doesn't mention microcrystal or A-grade, it's likely just tempered glass, which will lose its shine and develop microcracks within a year. If the glass is the skin, the IGBT is the heart. This stands for Insulated Gate Bipolar Transistor. It is the heavy-duty switch that turns the electricity into a high-frequency magnetic field. Here is a Sal secret. The quality of the IGBT determines if your stove survives a power surge. In India, our power grid can be unpredictable. A sudden spike of 250 volts can fry a cheap transistor instantly. Premium brands like Philips and Prestige use IGBTs from world-class manufacturers like Siemens or Infineon. These high-end components are rated to handle up to 2000 volts of internal stress. When you are buying, check the warranty and the surge protection rating. In 2026, don't buy anything that doesn't offer at least 4 kilovolt surge protection. It's the only way to ensure your stove doesn't become a very expensive paperweight after the first monsoon thunderstorm. Have you ever noticed your induction stove clicking on and off when you try to simmer milk at a low setting? That is a process called PWM, or pulse width modulation. Cheap stoves are like a light switch that can only be full on or full off. To give you low heat, they just turn the power on for 2 seconds and off for 2 seconds. This is why your milk boils over one moment and stops the next. It's frustrating and bad for delicate cooking. High-end 2026 models use dual-core processors to manage continuous power delivery. Instead of clicking on and off, they actually throttle the frequency of the magnetic field. This allows for a smooth, steady, gentle simmer perfect for melting chocolate, tempering spices, or slow cooking a thick gravy. When shopping, look for the term low heat precision or continuous induction. It is a game changer for the quality of your food. Let's go deeper. Underneath that glass is a copper coil. But here's the trick. Not all coils are copper. To save money, some manufacturers use copper-clad aluminum. Aluminum has higher resistance, which means it generates a lot of wasted heat inside the machine. You want 100% pure copper coils. Copper is more efficient at transferring energy to your pan, and it stays cooler during the process. And speaking of staying cool, look at the fan. A high-power 2000-watt stove generates a lot of internal heat. If the fan is small or noisy, the machine will throttle its own power to prevent melting its own circuits. Look for models with a high-velocity brushless fan. And here is a very specific Indian kitchen tip. Check for anti-roach mesh. Cockroaches love the warmth of an induction motherboard. If the vents are wide open, they will crawl inside, cause a short circuit, and die taking your stove with them. A fine mesh over the fan is a small detail that saves you a lot of headache. We're living in 2026, so let's talk about 2026 technology. The whistle counter. This is no longer a gimmick. Models like the Prestige PIC-61U use an acoustic sensor, a tiny microphone that listens for the sound of your pressure cooker. You can set it to 4 whistles, and the stove will automatically drop to keep warm mode after the 4th one. It is a massive convenience for busy mornings. BEE star ratings. As of this year, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency has made star ratings mandatory for induction hobs. A 5-star rated model might cost a bit more upfront, but it is nearly 30% more efficient than a 1-star or unrated model. If you cook for an hour every day, a 5-star stove will literally pay for itself in electricity savings within 24 months. Dual heat sensors. Most stoves have one sensor in the middle. Better models have dual sensors, one for the center and one for the edge. This prevents hot spots and ensures your pan is heated evenly, which is crucial for making the perfect, uniform golden brown dosa. Okay, let's wrap this up into a checklist you can take to the store or use while browsing online. 1. Wattage, minimum 2000 watts, ideally 2100. 2. Glass, A-grade full crystal glass. No plastic borders. 3. Core, 100% copper coil and Infineon or Siemens IGBT. 4. Control, look for continuous power for simmering. 5. Safety, 4 kilovolt surge protection and anti-roach mesh. 6. Efficiency, check for that 2026 BE 5-star label. One final tip before I go. Carry a simple fridge magnet in your pocket. Before you buy that expensive new induction-ready pot, snap the magnet onto the bottom. If it doesn't stick with a strong clink, put it back. Induction is magic, but it's magic powered by physics, and physics doesn't lie. I'm Sal. Now you know the why behind the buy. If this deep dive helped you, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss our next explanation. I'll see you in the kitchen.